late, but live and alive, which is good. We're all here live. I had a little bit of beer and it's been a while, so it's going to be an interesting show. If you're watching us right now, you're on YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to our channel. It really supports the team. We appreciate that. We are a podcast, as you know, so you will also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, all those main platforms. We have a second channel called ALTBAYS Clips, where we break down the long chats and we turn them into shorter clips. So if your attention span is like mine, not great, you can follow that channel. And you will find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Man, TikTok's a madhouse, eh?
I know.
And now you can also find us around the whole peninsula with Coral Minds magazine, our media group. It's also releasing this beautiful, colorful, with the cover from Mr. Big Nick Barry. It's because on his Instagram is Big Nary.
Perfect.
Funny guy.
Shout out to Nick.
Nick Barry. Shout out to Nick. And you will find our magazine everywhere. But if you can't get hold of one, because people love to take them home, and I understand why, you can go to our website, coralminds.nz, and you will read the whole content there. And there's also, look, a QR code with an audio version, because accessibility is important and we care. On my left, Ashley Krosky.
Yeah.
What's
That's the name.
up?
What's up?
How's it going, Ash?
So good, eh? I've been soaking up the sun while I can.
Nice.
Living the life. It's
You
been good.
work a lot, eh, girl?
I do. I do a couple of shifts at Hula. Shout out Hula and Blue Ginger.
Shout out.
They fed us tonight, Blue Ginger.
What a beautiful... Oh, you want to do that for me? So, thank you very much. You go. Boom.
I'd like to thank Blue Ginger, honestly, giving us the feed tonight. Beautiful meal. The boys loved the bao buns.
Oh,
I mean,
my
they
gosh.
speak for themselves.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I get my usual Gia's Garden.
So good.
So good. And Karma Kapow for Leo over here. Gotta check them out, honestly. Get a good feed.
On Instagram, check them out. And if you're coming to the Coromandel, we have 2 long weekends coming up.
Yeah, so get in. You gotta get in.
Gotta get in. Blue Ginger. We're going to have them on our screen. Okay, so check those guys out. Taylor will get that sorted soon. Ash, into coffee and beer and all the good stuff in life.
I
Yeah.
like tasting,
Yeah.
whether that be coffee or beer. Yeah, for sure. I know a good coffee, and tonight I'm tasting a good beer, so I'm happy.
It's a good plan, isn't it? It's a good thing. How was the show on Wednesday with Adrian? You were here watching us and having a good time.
Monday?
I'm sorry, Monday.
Yeah,
How was that?
yeah. No, I was behind the scenes. It was an honor. With Taylor out there. Shout out Taylor.
Shout out.
It was awesome to see. He was a great speaker. It was so interesting to learn about all of this behind the scenes, honestly, of a funeral, because it's an important time in someone's life, and I feel like being in the hands of someone like Adrian, it's nice to know, honestly. He speaks wise words and he's good with people. He's quite a funny guy, to be fair.
Good man, very popular show. And then he texted me, it was funny, and he was like, do you think 300 views for one day is good? I was like, it's pretty good, but you should be surprised with the 200,000 views that he got on TikTok.
Good on him.
In one of the clips.
Wow.
And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, man, pretty good. So shout out to Adrian, 20 minutes. Thanks so much for coming, and check that show out if you guys have time after this beautiful thing that we're going to do tonight with the boys from Salt District Brewing. How are you, gentlemen?
Very good, man.
Great.
Thanks very much for having us.
Thanks for
It's
coming.
cool to be here.
Good, smooth ride from Whangamata.
Oh, it was amazing, man. It was like the one sunny day that we've had in a pretty long time. Well, it's been a couple, but yeah, it was beautiful, man. It was what the Coromandel was all about, really. Sunshine and good times like this, so it was very good.
Especially when you have a good beer with you, Liam.
Hey,
Hey.
beautiful things. Love it.
Nice. So how did the whole thing start? Take me through the journey, please.
Yeah, well, maybe it'd probably be good for Liam to talk about his journey for beer, because I came in a little bit
Yeah.
later with the overall.
We've had very separate journeys in the sense as well, right?
Yes, yeah.
I lived in the States, worked over there every year for about 5 years, doing Camp America. And it just so happened that our camp was just down from ALTBAYS Brewing, which is one of the best breweries in the world. And I vividly remember having a beer from ALTBAYS, and I thought it was rubbish. And then every year I'd go back and have the same beer. It just got better and better and better and my palate was developing, and I was like, you know what, this is pretty cool. And we did a trip down the coast, and I remember having a blueberry IPA on a hot summer's day, and it was just mind-boggling. Like, you know, all my mates back home drinking Stein Lager and Lion Red, and that's all good, but this was, you know, amazing. So yeah, I got home, got back to Whangamata, and just wanted to do something there. So began this journey, moved down to the Hawke's Bay. Sorry, I worked in a craft beer bar for a summer. That was epic. It was cool to see people buying products that were against the norm, you know, buying a hazy IPA or a beautifully crafted Pilsner rather than, like, again, you know, a Stein Lager or a Lion Red. And then I was a little bit at a loose end, didn't know what to do, and I got a trainee brewer's job at a company called B Studio in Hawke's Bay, which is the biggest contract craft facility in New Zealand.
Shout out.
Yeah, man, shout out. We were doing 6 million litres a year of amazing craft beer for companies all over New Zealand. And
So for New Zealand, or they would export as well, they would...
Just New Zealand companies, yeah. So companies experiencing huge growth, especially when they jumped into supermarkets, they weren't sure what to do, so they'd come see us and we'd help them out, and it was epic. And it was always a goal of mine to come back to Whangamata and do something there, because it's the place I love. You know, it's great surf, great diving. I love how it's busy in summer, and then I love how it's quiet in winter. It's great. So yeah, it's been a really long journey, and then me and Kehan kind of joint forces in some weird sort of way.
Was it one of those drunk nights, bro? They were like, you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a few of them, man. Yeah, a few of them.
Yeah, man.
Dreams are made
It's not a
with a
sober
beer, I
conversation.
reckon.
Yeah. For me, I had finished, I'm a qualified carpenter by trade. My dream, I just wanted to get my ticket. I wanted to go overseas and wanted to live overseas. I had a pretty good start at that. I got a good 6-7 months. My partner's from Finland, so I saw her family in Sweden, went to Finland, went to Portugal, went to Morocco, went to Sri Lanka. Eventually did 3.5 weeks in Bali, and I came home about mid-November. I was just going to work a little bit, get a visa sorted for Sweden and go and live there for a year and see what happens. But my date when I came home was about mid-November of 2019. And I was saying to Ash earlier, probably about 3-4 weeks later, basically the world just sort of shut up shop, and then that was sort of me. And I was building a music studio out at home for my old man, shout out to Scurry, Pete Murray. So I did that, and to be honest, it was kind of quite perfect for me. The first lockdown came, I just finished the studio, and I was in there recording an album, which I released, Spilt Milk by Havana Fuzz. Go check it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to plug it. I'm plugging it hard.
Ooh,
Play it again slowly so everybody can get on that.
And for me, I was just reflecting a little bit, because a year went by, nothing had sort of cleared up a little bit. New Zealand was still very, very good, but going into the second year a little bit, I was kind of thinking a little bit more about what I wanted to do. What do I want to do while I'm here in New Zealand? I just want to build. I want to do something. So when the first lockdown got announced, me and my old man were actually picking up materials from Waihi, and the first thing he looked at me was like, well, we've got to go and get some beer. So we did, we got 4 weeks at home, got to have a coldie. So we pulled up to the liquor store, we walked out for trolley, and there was about 5 or 6 other cars pulling up like Armageddon, trying to get some beer.
It honestly was.
And
I remember that.
it was crazy. Yeah, it was really, really strange.
Some people went for the
Yeah.
toilet paper, some people went for the beer.
The liquor store started doing door deliveries, and I think
Exactly.
that's where they
Beautiful
went.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the business venture.
So it was crazy. It was almost like, little penny drops, like, man, beer's a bit of a thing, isn't it? Like people, the last thing they're going to do locked in their house is not have a beer or a wine or something. So, eventually 5 weeks later, I bumped into Liam, who was in Whangamata, had just come back from the Hawke's Bay. And I asked him, I was like, man, what have you been doing for your lockdown? He was like, busy. It's like, you're busy? Man, about over 3/4 of the country haven't been busy. He's like, no, I'm brewing beer, man. It's been the busiest we've ever been, like truly. So through my experience going through Europe, I got introduced to a lot of different styles of beer. Through the building trade, you get pretty used to green bottles. What was the thing with green bottles? Like Stein Lager and Heineken, all those things.
Fridays.
Fridays, the Friday
Still
shout.
love a Steiny though. Eh?
Still love a
Still love
Steiny,
a
Tony.
Steiny.
Shout out to Stein Lager, still doing it.
Good on you.
Yeah, so like Europe kind of opened my eyes to different beer styles. I really love Belgian blondes, wheat beers, kind of styles that you don't really see here too much in New Zealand. And yeah, long story short.
Bro, I got a question for you. Because you went to so many countries, like, was it always easy as a Kiwi to get in these countries? Like, did you have an open visa for them, or there were countries that you had to go through different processes?
So when you go into Europe, it's called the Schengen visa, which there's only about 4 countries I think that are excluded, which is Russia, Croatia, and a couple sort of Eastern sort of European countries.
Come on,
so
Putin, help us
come
here,
on, man.
Hey.
Yeah. So you get you just turn up, you get a 3-month visa stamped. So no, it was quite easy, but I had to get out of Portugal and shot down to Morocco. Yeah, which was you get a 1 month there, did a month there, had to buy a visa for Sri Lanka, and then I think Bali was just open.
Was there a country that surprised you with the quality of the beer or the way that they were doing things?
I mean, I think for quality of beer was Finland, because there's if you go to Helsinki, the main city there, the capital, there's just so many beautiful beer bars, man, and they've just got so many different styles of beer. So I'd say that was the country that really like stood out for me. Yeah, you can have a really good time there. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, we got some traveling to catch up with there.
I
Oh, yeah.
definitely do. Yeah. Yeah, lockdown did not do me well with that.
Yeah.
Because you were planning to, right? You
I
some
had flights
some-
booked in March 2020, but March 2020, on the 25th of March, that's when we went down. So it was kind of just like a cancel the flights or, postpone them or whatever.
Yeah. So I saw on your social media, guys, that you call themselves microbrewery. Is that
Yeah.
right? Is that the term? What does that mean, and what's the kind of beer that you guys are producing at the moment?
Yeah, well, like, I mean, we're probably like a nano brewery, like, to be quite fair.
Yeah,
We're just like,
technically
we're just small.
It's just you two, you just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a 1 BBL by the batch sort of brewery.
Yeah.
We got 4 of those tanks, and we just try and turn over the tanks.
Yeah.
So probably if we had all the tanks full and they're finishing, we could probably do, what do you think, clear product, maybe 500 litres?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
how
basically,
long does they-
whereas the biggest like homebrew scale you can get.
Yeah.
So for us, it's about like proof of concept. Like we want to do
Yeah.
this as a full-time job, and
Yeah.
you don't jump into a huge brewery and just hope it goes well. So for us, it's like a proof of concept, and it's
Keep
so
up
far
with
it's
it.
gone. Yeah, it's gone really well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And now it's like grow on that, and every sort of 6 weeks,
And you
sort of
say,
look at it. And
you say the tanks, does each type of brew last, are they different times? Like, do they take longer than others?
it's all stylistic,
Okay.
basically. Yeah, like a hazy
Okay.
will finish a lot sooner than a pilsner.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's all beer styles and things
Yeah,
like that.
and that's
but-
stuff you've learnt through your experiences
Yeah,
at those
I had this
breweries.
amazing guy. I hope he's watching. His name's Alex.
Yeah.
A German brewmaster. One of the funniest guys I've ever met.
Yeah.
He was amazing. He took me under his wing. I think I learned 10 years worth of experience in a year. The guy he worked at Hopsteiner, which is the biggest hop company in the world. He was amazing.
So take me through, man. What's the thing with like the time that they spend and each type of beers that you guys are producing? How does it work?
Well, for us, man, it's like we've got sort of 3 core beers that we do as Salt District. We've got a pale ale, a hazy pale ale, and IPA. But then we've opened the little cellar door so people can come in and get takeaway flagons. So now we can experiment and do different
Awesome.
beers.
Awesome.
Our next beer is going to be a Japanese rice lager, and then we're going to do a Nelson Sauvin ale, and we're going to like mix it up and change people's perceptions.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
I think a thing people don't realise in New Zealand is that we grow some of the best hops in the world, right? And then our malt is on par with some of the best malt in the world.
Yeah.
So all of our hops are grown in Nelson and Motueka, and they're amazing. People in the States and the UK would kill for our hops. So it makes amazing sense for us to have a brewery here, because we can just phone up, get some hops sent up from Nelson, our malt sent up from Canterbury, and we've got amazing products ready to go to make amazing beer.
What
That's a
are
beautiful thing.
what are the main thing? What are the main reasons for that? Is it like weather, soil, or time that people like? What?
Yeah, for hops, it's sunlight. It's amount of light hours that the hops can get. So they're actually a cousin of marijuana, the plant itself. So
Shout out to marijuana.
Shout out to marijuana. Thank you.
It's good that they're sisters. I like that.
totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nelson gets the most sunlight in New Zealand, so that's where all the hops are, and they're amazing.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Most sunlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sunlight.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm.
So there's a. You're saying that there's a big demand. So does it mean that New Zealand will also produce beer and sell to other countries in that large
Totally.
scale, or it's mainly the products like the principles of the beer?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few hops that have like taken over the craft beer world in the last few years, and Nelson Sauvin is one of those from down in Nelson, obviously. And that's really kick-started the craft beer movement in New Zealand, which is epic. And there's actually a really good podcast on the New Zealand Brewers podcast about the history of New Zealand beer and how, you know, sheltered we've been as a society on beer styles and, you know, what beer's out there and things.
Do you guys, do you know like what sparked, like if it was different cultures coming to the country, or if New Zealand always had a thing in the past, like, because I don't know, I never came across like indigenous traditions of like brewing or distilling things. I'm sure there was.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
what's
a great,
the history?
Do you
it's a
guys
great
know if there
question,
was
yeah.
more?
I do know that the original Spates was actually an IPA,
Okay.
and it was full of hops and it was amazing. It was 6%. And then they got bought out and they watered it down and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think all the brewers from Christchurch and around the Nelson area just got a hold of these hops, and it just kind of went from there. That was probably early 2000s, so it's a really young industry. But like, you know, the guys from Garage Project, who are my absolute idols, they're out there killing it. You know, I think they got like the 12th best brewery in the world last year,
Yeah,
and like
amazing.
100 rankings, you know.
And they go
And it's
out there.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sick.
Yeah,
They got
Yeah.
awesome
So-
flavors, awesome types. Yeah.
Yeah, and like it's a fun industry, you know. It's epic.
Do you guys
Yeah.
feel like that there's a good sense of collaboration and helping each other out? So there's a bit of like, nah, you're doing your thing, I'm doing
In
mine.
amongst the breweries together.
Yeah.
Especially in
Community.
New Zealand, yeah.
No, I think the craft beer scene like really sort of gets together. I think I was talking to Ashley about it before. One of my dad's good mates who he grew up with at boarding school was actually the head brewer at the Whistling Sisters down in Wellington, Bede Row. He's a legend. And when me and Liam were starting this, he gave me his personal number. He said, anytime you need anything, feel free to call me and I can put you in the right direction. So, yeah.
Same with
Yeah.
Adam from Bluefridge. He's helped us a bunch.
Shout
So
out
cheers,
to
Adam.
Adam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
legend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all about taking down the big guys, you know.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
When I
Join
started in the
together.
Hawke's Bay, the market share for craft beer consumers was 3%.
So when we're talking about the big guys, are they New Zealand companies, or they have the appeal of like? Do you guys know those details? If
Well, they're international conglomerates, man. They're
Yeah,
huge. They're like
huge.
billion-dollar companies that have the swing to go in and basically go into a bar. It's just recently got its on license, and they will sort out the whole bar for you, put the system in, but you've got to stock their beer. And basically, if Stone and Wood is a pretty good example.
Great
of that.
example.
They were in a competition basically for taps, and Lion gave them the deal they possibly couldn't refuse. It was about $360 million.
To buy the company.
To buy the company out.
To get that market share.
Yeah, to claw that share back.
Wow.
So that sort of kind of is what's happening. So within the craft scene, you know, people are passionate about it, and there is that camaraderie.
And we
sure.
sound so intelligent about market share and like all this
that's
stuff.
good.
Yeah,
I like it, man.
let's
pretty
go.
good, man.
Yeah.
No, I've only had one beer,
know.
mate. You should see me in a second.
How do you guys feel about, because you're bros, you're friends, and now you're getting into a business together, and then you know different challenges and different things
bro.
that you have to worry about, like
Do you switch off?
yeah, how is the
Do you just hang out?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely hang out. Like we're both
Nice.
like real passionate surfers. We see each other out in the water all the
Therapy.
time and things like that.
That's good.
I mean, it's stressful, you know, like because we both have our day jobs, you know, and we're just not at the point at the moment where we can just can the day job. So it's kind of just like working two jobs. But as you know, the good thing about it is that you're passionate about the second job, you know, and you want to work at it and you want to grow it. And you want to look after it, you know. It's your baby. Yeah.
It's a big grind. It's like,
Yeah.
You might do 11 hours in your day job and then you're in the brewery for 8.
yeah
And then you look up and it's midnight and you're like, oh, that, yeah.
yeah
That's what you got to do, man, to get it going.
If you enjoy it, right?
Totally.
So yeah.
Yeah.
no, well, that's how we feel here.
Yeah, you were saying before, man.
You know, like
Yeah.
we got the full-time job, but like we believe
Yep.
in what we're doing. So you put
Yep.
the hours, you know, people come and say, oh, but you guys, you're not too tired, or you're like, well, but sometimes I'm tired of doing my full-time job because I don't have a choice, you know. Like, so if I put the efforts now and try to do what I love to do full-time, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Right. So it feels like you guys are on this right track. And how when it comes to space and like the crowds in Whangamata, because you guys are betting on that space that people will come. Like, how do you feel about going on this venture now?
I mean, like, to be honest, that first opening weekend we had, man, like, we had 60 flagons and they were all gone. They all got filled up, and it was, you know, it wasn't just our friends that were there. There was people that we've never seen before. We had one guy who had, he walked in, said, "Hey, man, like, feel free to try any of the beers that you had." We had 4 different styles. He said, "No, I want the Party Wave Pale Ale." I was like, you can try just any one. He's like, no, I've had it up at the golf course. Like, that's the one I want. And that was it. You know, like, he wanted that beer. That's what he was after. So that's very, very cool to see, because before that we were just manufacturing kegs. So you actually don't really have too much interaction with the client base. So it's nice to actually be able to talk and, you know, show a bit of face to the company, you know. Like, what is Salt District? Well, Salt District is just 2 young guys, man, they're passionate about the place that they live and love a good beer.
What were the biggest challenges, things that you guys didn't see it coming and you thought could be easier, and then you're like, "Ooh, okay,
Oh man, leading up so hard.
It's quite full on.
Council and stuff is just like it's tough, man. It's really, really tough. Like, there's no handbook for that, and especially, you know, we haven't run a big company or anything. You know, we haven't done stuff like this before, so you kind of just, you're going in blind, and there's just not much help out there. But it took us several months to get going, get the licenses and all that sort of stuff. So.
We almost, like, the funny thing was that you don't need a license to manufacture. I just did a little bit of a tour. I talked to people at the poorhouse, went to Hot Water Beach. I said, "Hey, what does it take to set one of these up? Because I'm having trouble just dealing with council." And they said, "Before you do anything, make sure it's black and white that they're okay with everything that's happening." And that's all fine and well and works in principle if there's good communication, where sometimes the communication wasn't that good and we got caught out a little bit. Just waiting for the go-ahead on something that was exempt, which was actually quite sort of funny. But we eventually got there, and here we are. The licensing for the off-license was actually quite easy, to be fair. So when you get into the on-license, it starts getting a little bit trickier. You need the food, you need the restrooms. There's a whole bunch of different little fish hooks that get caught in it. But for the meantime, you pay for that off-license. People can come in, they fill up, they go home, they enjoy the beer, which is really, really cool. Yeah, it's a good
Would you guys
start.
go for that though? Is it something that you see it as a big picture, having a space, having a bar, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I look at that little off-license area we have now. It's a small little room. It's only probably maybe like 3 by 3, and it's just begging for four bar chairs there by the leaner man, honestly.
So nice.
Squeeze them in.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I kind of, in Europe, you see like all those small, like little cool, cozy bars, and I don't know. I like a small space, man. It feels intimate. It's got a different feeling to it.
Have you been to Japan as well?
No, I haven't, man. I actually had a layover this year in Tokyo for 6 hours, and there was $2 Asahis. So I was quite, oh man.
I got so many funny messages, eh? It was so classic.
Oh, because some of the bars is literally like this hallway.
Yeah,
like, it
cool,
only
man.
fits the 3
Yeah,
people
man.
that are sitting there.
Yeah.
And that's obviously so many people there. So it would make sense to have all these tiny things. But like in New Zealand, I feel like there's always this extra challenging element of the number of people, the amount of people.
Yeah.
Even for us here, sometimes we check numbers and engagements and we're like, well, but we're catering for a small population.
Totally.
You know, like it's not huge. So it's how you're playing, you know, you got to play smart that you catch your audience and then you retain them. Right? So I think for you guys, it's kind of like the same game. You want to make people love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you're always providing for that crowd,
Totally,
and then
man.
it starts to expand, right?
Yeah, from word of mouth, especially in small communities like Whangamata and Coromandel in general. Like,
Yeah.
you were
There's a
saying
big
that-
hole in Whangamata as
Yeah.
well. You know,
Absolutely.
Kehan grew up there, and I've been
Yeah.
there every summer since I was
Yeah,
15. And there's no, you know, honey pot, no, there's no melting sort of, you know,
No.
where people
No,
hang out, and
it's-
which is a shame. So
Yeah, it's odd. Like, it's just, it's a great place, but like, it's almost the atmosphere is just a little bit dry. And I think it's
you
just a
live there.
small Coromandel, like just coastal towns. Like, there's the dairy, there's a few little things, but like the nightlife is just really sort of not quite there. And for me being here, it's like, man, I love Whangamata. I don't know kind of where else I'd go. I got friends who live in the Mount, but the best parts of the Mount for me, I get from living in Whangamata. Like, I love to go surfing. Don't know if I could be bothered getting caught in traffic on Hewlett's Road. In Auckland, I got mates that live up in Auckland. Every time they're down, I was just like, how was it? They're just like, oh, it's good to be here.
It's yeah, it's like the mount on a smaller scale, less traffic. You get the beach,
Yeah.
you get the bar, you get the
totally.
surf, you get the beer,
yeah.
you get all of that. So I understand where you're coming from for sure. And the nightlife, yeah,
It's changed a lot as well since that first lockdown. A lot of people have moved down, and
Yeah,
the permanent population's probably, I don't know, doubled,
Increased
maybe
a bit.
tripled, and
Yeah.
and that's cool
Which is
because
awesome.
there's interesting
and a few
people
of the
doing
bars,
things.
a few of the bars have changed hands in a
Yep.
few
Yep.
past
Yep.
couple of years, which
Yeah.
is awesome to see. Like a bit of more, passion behind some of those bars, which is awesome. Like
Yeah, we've got a craft beer bar in
Yeah,
Whangamata.
that's awesome.
Shout out to Big Phil.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Phil.
Craft House.
That's cool to see.
Dole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Big supporter.
it's good
So-
to see. Yeah,
Did that unfortunate event that happened in one of the festivals, did that shake things up a little bit when the young people went wild after one of the festivals?
Oh, there
Was it
wasn't
like
even a
Joe's-
It
festival.
wasn't a festival, no. It's
No.
the lack
Those
of
years,
festivals, man, because they got nothing to
Yeah.
do.
yeah. So that's just years of partying on Wellington Park, but this
Yeah.
certain year there was nothing to party for, so it was just a gathering of youngsters.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
been an area for like congregation. And like when I was younger, we won't get into the stories too much, but when I was younger and I was there was always a band. Like there was something to entertain you. Where if you got nothing there and you've got kind of young energy, hormones, testosterone going
Thousands of
everywhere, and
people.
people who are like quite generally quite pissed, it just went nuts because they're just bored.
Yeah.
Got nothing to do. Probably cell phones are a big thing too. Like they just blew up all over social media. So it's I don't know. It's a lot different.
The year before that big one, it was starting. I worked at Blackie's on the beach, and we got broken into that year. But just
Free
the
ice
ice cream,
creams.
just the ice cream trailer. So it was already starting, and then the year after, which was whatever 2021 or 2020,
Yeah,
2020, I think.
that was the big one, and that's when people were on the roof, people were like rioting, and it was already coming, and the council knew that.
Yeah.
I think a great point as well to say is maybe that, it's a very unique area though. Like it's small and you can walk around the whole of Whangamata in, a couple of 40 minutes or
Yeah.
something. So if you've got mates at one end of Whangamata, you can go there and see them.
It's
So
no
it's
problem.
it's quite unique in that sense. So
Yeah.
I think we have to point
No
that
hills, it just
out. Yeah, man, it's just flat.
It's flat.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Flat plain.
Yeah, yeah.
Get on your scooter.
Let's
Yeah.
open
Goes
that
around.
can now that we started. How do you guys see the New Zealand drinking culture? Because you guys
Oh,
are
it's a great
in
question.
the markets,
Great
like
question.
so we had beautiful people, Paul Schneider from the distilling company. Woo! Did you hear that?
Did you hear that?
Chilly, right. We had beautiful people who work with alcohol coming here and always explaining how we should praise and respect the substance, because it's an amazing thing, it's a social thing, but so easy to deviate, so easy to get it wrong. And then we're talking about these big companies and about like how the money is involved, and then there's also the big thing
Like
with
sponsorship.
and advertising.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I think it's a flop. I think it's a big mistake when you put sports and you have all these companies funding sports.
Yeah.
But that's my thing. People will have different perceptions of that. But like, you guys are Kiwis. You guys grew up here. So what? Let's start with you guys. Like people working with alcohol. How is that? The drinking.
It's a funny one because me and
Yeah.
Kehan had a few conversations about this, and we did a tap takeover at one of the craft beer bar, and it was a big success, and we had like 5 beers on, and all our mates turned up, and everyone got quite steamed, and we sort of had a conversation, like how do we feel about being the people that are supplying the beer and stuff like that. But I think it's a thing of two parts, right? There's the binge drinking culture, but then there's also the craft beer culture. So we're trying to bridge that gap. Instead of drinking 10 Stein lagers or whatever, appreciate what you're doing, appreciate the product, the art, have 2 beautiful beers. Yeah, it's just kind of this link that we're trying to create. And I think it needs to happen.
I feel like with craft beer culture as well, there's more of a tasting.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You wouldn't
for
go
sure.
taste a Stein lager as
Yeah.
such. You would go and buy the pellet or the pedal, and you've got 6 to try.
Yeah.
You're not going to get.
Yeah. Like for me
from
at the
that.
moment, I get those mixed sixes at the moment because I just genuinely just feel like trying different beers,
That's awesome, especially in your field of work. So
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of just like research and like development a little bit, it's just nice. It's nice to have variety and just taste different things. So I think like as far as the binge culture and the culture of actually craft, trying it, tasting it and actually enjoying it. The first argument not the first argument, but an argument I had with my partner Lena, shout out to Lena,
Shout out.
was at one of the bars in Whangamata, Smoky Pallet. And this is when I was probably maybe about 21, and I just wasn't quite into the craft scene. So it's quite funny sitting here now and talking about it.
Yeah.
But she had about a 6.7% IPA, and I just had one sip, and I was like, I don't know how you can drink that. And she was like, why? And I was like, it's just so full on, like you just taste it so much. And she's like, isn't that why you're drinking the beer? And then it was kind of like, we got in this stupid funny argument about like, well, I kind of drink it like not to taste it. It was just like, just a young idiot. But so,
but that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Because like you're talking about when you were young.
I was young, man. Yeah,
there will always be young people, and then it feels like we keep sweeping the problem under the rug and not talking about
just blaming it on age.
Same with psychedelics, same with marijuana, same with like so many other things that, even worse, we make them illegal, so it's an excuse to not talk about them. Yeah. But we all know that it's out there. And with alcohol, there's this other thing of like, oh, how are we going to advertise this? But like, there's not much information about how you should appreciate.
And that's kind of like what you were saying before, you know, like it kind of stems from sport in a sense. Like rugby culture is a perfect example. You know, you go out, you play the footy finals, you win, you have a big party, and you know, and then kind of things happen, and it's just kind of trying to stop that culture in a sense.
Oh man, you can lose the game and still have a big party.
You either hate drinking or sad drinking.
What's the feminine perspective, Ash?
Oh gosh,
on the matter?
Well, there's all this like talk about as a chick and as you're younger, there's like the white girl wasted. And in Whangamata, like growing up there, the culture of drinking is very much like, I mean, all my mates, I don't know if this is a normal thing because this is all I've known. Like you start drinking like maybe 16, maybe even earlier. Yeah. And you're at parties about that time as well. So you get sick of drinking fast, but then you also learn how to handle your drinking earlier. So if you didn't start drinking until you're 18, which is a legal time, which is, you know, fair enough. You could find yourself in a bit of a pickle with you might start drinking too much and find yourself in that pickle too early or too late on. And then you might be out of home by then as well. So when you're younger and you can drink around your parents or you can drink and then go home, at least you have somewhere stable to go to. And like growing up as a girl, like the drinking side of things, I mean, there's a lot of peer pressure as well. So there's, I don't know, it's kind of, you watch the boys do silly things with their drinking. They get pretty, you know, they chug and they egos and all of that jazz. And it's all normal back then. But I look back at it and I'm like, oh, I was so young. Like, I was like, oh, you know, I should have maybe done those things. But at the end of the day, it makes you who you are and you kind of learn from those things. Yeah. For sure. I wouldn't say they're very sex-orientated, male, female.
I think the thing is, like, you got to learn too. You got to learn when you've had too much. And that just comes with time of like sort of knowing yourself a little bit. And what you do, like, man, I'm 27. I still like to go out and have a few drinks, but man, my hangovers are much worse now. So like
consequences, eh?
Yeah, the consequences are a little bit more dire. So you got to pick your battles a little bit more.
Yeah, when you're 18, there isn't much.
Not much.
Consequences, except for maybe your parents going, "Wait,
yeah,
what have you been doing?"
I think another side of the argument as well is like, you know, in the last couple of years with lockdowns and things, you know, what do people want? They want to socialise and be around people. Yeah. So if that means going out for a beer, you know, that's probably better than sitting inside and not talking to anyone, right?
That's right. Like, can you drink in the streets in America, bro?
It depends state to state.
Right.
Yeah. Usually not, but yeah, state to state.
That's an interesting thing because in Brazil you can. In Brazil you can drink anywhere, right? And when I came to New Zealand, I thought that it was a good thing. I was like, oh, you cannot drink in the streets. Oh, that's cool. First world, amazing, you know, like very important. And then I went back to Brazil. And then I could have a drink in the bus, you know, and I was like, whoa, oh, cool. And then I came back to New Zealand again, and then I was like, actually, people make it worse when you know, like
restricted it.
Yeah, you restricted it. You know, like you hide, or you go to places and you drink more because you know that you won't be able to drink in the street. So like this is not the thing that I like to pay attention. Like different countries and cultures, how they deal with the freedom when it comes to what you can do or not with the substances you're allowed to use.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is interesting. Like in Finland, you're allowed to just drink on the streets. Like the first time I was there, they had the hockey world champs, and Finland won. And within like probably 16 hours, they had brought up this pop festival just to celebrate their win, and everyone had their own.
awesome.
Everyone had their own alcohol. It was crazy. They had some of the
BYO.
biggest. BYO, man.
Wow.
No problems.
Wow.
I don't even think there was food that you could get. Not that I saw. There was like just thousands of people everywhere, and it's just not a problem. Yeah, maybe it is that restriction thing. It feels like a naughty thing. It feels like, ooh, you know, like.
Well, in Whangamata, they have only certain months of the year you can't drink on the street. Is
Yeah, I
that right?
struggle with that a lot.
Whoa,
Yeah.
what?
Bad in
Yeah,
winter,
so-
cruise down, have a beer on the beach is
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
So
Can't in
summer
December?
months,
What the hell?
Well, you
Liquor
get
band.
the yeah. Well, you get the
Full
liquor
on,
ban.
Yeah.
Like,
24 hour,
Yeah.
7 days a week, every street.
Yeah.
Yeah. No good. Yeah.
They'll pour your box if you get caught with a box and one bottle's out of it. They'll literally, I've seen it. They open every single bottle in your Heineken box
Gone.
on the ground.
Yeah.
It was my mates of a mate, and I was like, that sucks. I was watching that. I was like, that's rough. And that was on Williamson Park, so it was like,
Yeah.
you know, council land.
It's a blanket rule though, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they
It's
give you
everywhere.
an hour to get home. From that hour, you need to get home. You need to be drinking at home. It can't be on the street. Even if it's in your car, you can be sober. No good. It's getting tipped, which is kind of strange. I don't know. There's like strange restrictions that don't really seem to like help much. You know, like there's still plenty of binge drinking. You know, like why are these rules here, and what are they doing? Like, you know, you're not hitting the problem clearly.
And the thing that you guys mentioned about the big companies, like that's always my thing, you know, like I see these monopolies being so damaging for all of us, you know, because then you go to a festival and you get the average beer at a very high price.
13
Yeah, man.
bucks,
That's the
14
worst
bucks,
thing.
Yeah, man.
You know,
What
and
the
then
hell?
people go and then they see the Salt District beautiful beer and they're like, oh man, I'm not gonna pay this much for this beer, because there's this thing you're comparing
Totally.
to what you see around you.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then you're not going for quality, but that applies for food as well, right? You go and you have KFC for what, $2-3, and it's a meal
it's all
for,
buying
for,
power. It's
for
crazy,
poor
yeah.
families. That's what you can get. You know, like there's no nutritional value, there's nothing, there's no enjoyment in that food, but like it's a meal, you know, it all goes under the umbrella of a meal. So like, you know, we gotta try to find a way to appreciate people who are doing things with passion and, you know, and together like you guys are doing
Yeah.
from the community.
And it kind of goes back to that idea, you know, of every community or city having, you know, a baker and a butcher and a veggie shop and a brewery and, you know, all in their chosen area, you know,
Yeah.
rather than, you know, you go to Pack and Save, you get everything you need and, you know, you
That
don't
was,
really know where it's come from and, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the name of Stone and Wood, the brewery we're talking about. That's based in Byron Bay, and that's their whole name, is that Stone and Wood being the foundation, and that a brewery was just as important as the church, you know, and, you know, it's where people congregate, can drink, and can talk, because, you know, to be fair, it's a social lubricant. It's been around for thousands of years. Obviously, there's a part of it in society and culture that it's here to stay, man, you know, and it's maybe something that does get abused, but, you know, you can definitely have a few, man, and have a good time.
Have you seen those videos of animals waiting for the fruit to start
Yeah.
just before rotting so they can,
Yeah,
have
yeah.
you seen those on?
We have
They
the
drink the fruits?
kiriru, man. It just, hits all those wild berries, man.
And then it just hits the window because it's a little bit, sees something else and it's like, oh, I've had plenty of those hit the windows and everything. They just eat those berries.
Yeah.
Know
So
exactly
what?
what you're talking
So
about.
what are we drinking there, bro? Which one is that one?
The Big Moocher IPA, man, 6%.
We
Packed full of 3 different hops. We got Waiiti, Chinook,
Yeah. Nelson Solomon.
and
man.
Nelson Sauvin.
Yeah.
I
Beautiful
love how
beer.
it's all from New Zealand. I just feel like that's real cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 60 IBUs as well, so it's a classic, like a big IPA.
Oh, so you're gonna have to
Well, the
pour
boss
one for
wants
the
some.
boss here.
Big pull
I might
man
have
up.
to give
Yeah,
a
he's
taster,
keen.
eh?
And the other beer here's
Can I
our
ask you to pour? You guys got the skills, man.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
man.
You're the
I mean,
Master.
when you opened it, the sound of it, wow.
See if I can get it again. Oh, no. That's all right. That's all right.
and then our other beer is the Party Wave Pale Ale, and that's it's like an entry craft beer, you know, like it's 4.8% and it's low bitterness and
Yeah, and that's this one.
subtle hop flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Thanks, bro.
yeah,
No worries.
it's funny when we started this whole thing. I vividly remember Kehan's dad saying to us that he would buy us a brewery if he started drinking craft beer.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a dedicated Steiny man. And Kehan's been noticing a few IPA cans going missing
Absolutely, yeah. He's
It's
even
been cool to
picked
see
up,
the
like,
process.
Pete,
Pete, yeah.
Come on, woo.
He's picked
They've
up
seen
some
it.
real funny little crafty sort of habits as well. Like he loves drinking beer out of a glass. It's a Steinlager, but for Christmas bought him some good proper Italian made glasses, and he just always has them in the fridge. Just little things like that, you know.
Just
like
sneak it in there.
Yeah, we'll get him.
Nice,
We'll
nice.
definitely get him.
My dad was the same. He was a diehard, green bottle guy, and he's semi-retired and he works at Pack and Save Silverdale as a liquor manager, and he loves it.
Yeah.
And he gets mad discounts on beer, and that's what he's about, man.
Why not, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, it's
Shout
cool.
out Norm.
Yeah, big Norm, big Stormo.
Liam, and when it comes to the chemistry, man, the art of getting that standard, getting that beer right every time, how is that journey, man?
It's pretty tough, man, but it's a beautiful process. You've got to be so meticulous. You got to know what you want as well. You got to know what you want out of a beer and a style and a profile and things. For us, we're probably not super consistent, but we're just starting out, and but yeah, it's an amazing thing. It's you can be super consistent and make one beer or two beers, but for us, it's about,
what do you think is the most challenging part? That is the one that you gotta pay attention to.
It's probably two things. So for us in our situation, it's our equipment. Like I'm used to brewing on some of the most sophisticated equipment that you can buy, and it's amazing. For us, we can't afford that sort of stuff, so it's very manual labour, things like that, and it's pretty tough. But it's it gets the job done, and the beers are great. Yeah, super cool.
Boss is happy behind the
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah. I'm sure you learn a lot as well as you're going along, like trying different,
Totally.
trying different brews and everything. It's
Yeah.
exciting stuff.
Absolutely.
Each one will be a little bit different, right?
Well, for quite a while, we've just been sticking with our cores because we just really just want to drill it into us and try and get used to getting it as close to the same thing every single time.
Yeah, getting those processes down.
Yeah, so people can rely on it. If they go to the craft house, they go to the Port Road project, and they want a Sea Legs hazy or a Big Mooch or a Party Wave, you want to make sure it's pretty much the same beer every time, so you can gain that trust.
What do you need to do to get to the a bigger scale, like to bottle it and for cans? Like, is there an amount that you have to produce that would help for that process? Do you guys know those details?
You kind of need to know your market as well, right?
Yeah.
There's probably tough times coming up this year with the big R word, things like that. The Coromandel's very, very quiet in winter. So for us, it was kind of like, we know we're going to do well in summer, but what happens in winter and things like that. So that was kind of the main thought process behind the whole sort of first year or two. See how it goes, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good that you've got some community support though from Craft House and Port Road. And, like that's just another opportunity for you to get those sales.
And to be fair, we've really been pulling the handbrake on this whole thing. Like we've been trying to go as slow as we can. Like we get all this momentum and people are, we want this, we want that. You guys are doing great, blah, blah, blah. And we're trying to be sensible and take it slow and
not to get too excited.
Yeah, totally we get pumped. Yeah, it's sick. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I've been watching you guys' journey through social media. So you guys have been using your Instagram, which is cool. It's cool. It's cool.
So bad at Instagram.
Yeah, well,
we just learned the
I think it
last
looks.
2 weeks.
I think your account's pretty cool.
Well, thanks, Ash. Yeah, thank you very much.
You've got some good engaging what do you call them, captions. Videos are awesome. You guys should check them out, by the way.
Yes.
That was our friend Laura as well. We didn't actually do that. That was Laura. Thanks, Laura.
Well, thanks, Laura.
Yeah.
Honestly,
most of those posts, I do a lot of the captions. I think it's a good way. You got to express yourself and sort of express it's a reflection.
Putting the face behind you guys as well, behind the company name.
Yeah, and we're pretty jovial. We're not going to take it too. We take it seriously. We're very passionate about the product, but beer's not too serious, man.
You guys mentioned the surf. What are the other passions? What do you guys love doing?
That's a great question because Kehan just won a bit of a competition not long ago. So
yeah, Jiu-Jitsu national champion. Shout out to me.
Jiu-Jitsu, bro, man.
Yeah, man. I'm a blue belt and I won the under 70 division. Yeah, the second tournament I ever went in, so it was quite good. The first tournament I went in was nationals as a white belt, and man, it's quite a it's quite stressful, you know, like I haven't really done too much competitions since I was probably playing like schoolboy rugby. So to be in a stadium, as the Barfoot and Thompson, with probably like well over 1,000 people all yelling and screaming, it was pretty full on. Even like for the white belt, you know, like I just kind of sort of cooked it a little bit with my mental prep. My fight was delayed by about 3-4 hours, and it was constantly like checking out like, no, next half an hour, and then next half an hour, next half an hour. So you're kind of on this roller coaster ride of being ready, not being ready, because you're watching like purple bouts, brown bouts, blue bouts. The blue bouts are gnarly, like just going hard, and it's like an energy that you don't really get like when you're training, like actually seriously competing. So I was trying to mentally prep myself for that. So I thought I'd punch a couple coffees and like really get in the rhythm of it. I was
Risky
down
move.
very risky move. That was not a good stock to put in on, and I was down in the bullpen, separated from your team.
Yeah.
And they finally called you in, man, and my heart was just absolutely beating. And me and this guy, we touched hands, and I got his back straight away. I was in the most advantageous position you could ever get, and man, I had tunnel vision. I like didn't even know what happened for a whole minute, man. The ref stood us up because apparently we rolled off the mat. And my orientation was just nuts. I had just so much adrenaline just like going through
That's
me.
what you need. You didn't need those commies.
No, I did not. And I had points on him, and the last 15 seconds he swept me, and I lost on points. And then I hadn't competed for a while, and then my trainer Jeremy was just like, man, this nationals, you got to go. And it wasn't like I was training, but not training like that much. And I was like, I'll just give it a go. And like, to be honest, if I can go there, this is my thing. I go there, I can put my headphones on, man, relax, chill out, do your match, and we'll see what happens. And yeah, 3 matches later, I'd done it. I'd had the hardest draw. I was versing this guy called Monty from Invercargill. Shout out to Monty. You're the man.
Yes.
He was a dude, man. I checked his record. Big mistake. Don't ever look at your opponent's record, because he had about like...
You got to respect it though, eh?
He had about 28 fights, and I think he had about like 23 submissions. And I was like, oh... No. Oh no. So like my mantra like leading up to it was like, I'm just gonna go and like ruin this guy's day. Like that's all I'm gonna do. He's flying all this way, man. I'm just gonna put him on the plane and, you know, make him feel upset.
The video's sick. Kehan's got Eye of the Tiger mad.
Yeah.
It's super sick. Yeah, it's like
So
super
no
saiyan.
caffeine.
No, I didn't. No coffee, man. I did my weight cut. I sit at around like 69 kgs anyway. Like I got to weigh in with the gi on, like the big robe. It's about 2.5 kgs. So I basically didn't drink water for about a day. Very light meal, just so I could make the weight. Or else I'm in a 76 division, which like, man, they're quite a bit bigger. So I did that. I got there really early in the morning. Just wanted to feel the stadium out. It was super quiet, and it just didn't feel as big. The whole like aura of it, sort of thing. You know, like it just didn't feel, like it did couple years ago.
Yeah,
so
a bit more comfortable this time.
So I weighed in, I had a litre of coconut water, and about an hour and a half beforehand I went in with a training partner of mine, Dylan, and just had headphones on, man, and we drilled and slapped hands with Monty, and we had a really good fight actually. It was about 4 minutes out of a 5-minute match, and I got him an armbar, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, man, like first one out of the way, okay, like let's go. I had the next guy, and he was a 3-stripe blue belt. And he got me in a triangle choke, man. I was probably sitting in there for about 2 minutes, and this guy like trying to like crank on my arm and choke me out. And I was kind of just remembering like the first time, like, because the thing that happened with me in that first nationals, I was trying to just choke this guy so hard with like improper technique. So my arms just burnt out. I was just, like, my arms just burnt out. Come on, yeah. I was just like kind of thinking, I was like, man, this guy's getting tight. And sure enough, like you could just feel like the pressure in his legs just giving up more and more and more until eventually I just stacked up. Broke out of it. We had a quick scramble for about 20 seconds. I got to his side, and it was like a very weird feeling of just feeling someone like give up. It was just like his whole body just like went slack.
It's good to be aware of it when you're competing one-on-one as well. I can see that.
Yeah,
It's like Jedi shit.
Got into the mount and
in your mind.
Yeah.
choked him out, and then I was having big breaths on the bench, and Monty came up to me, shout out to Monty, you're the man, and he was like, bro, this is the final. And I was like, nah, it's not, is it? He's like, bro, one more to go, that's you've done it. And then a minute and a half into my match, just dominated, got the guys back, choked them out, and that was it.
Did you do any breath? Sorry, no, you go.
I was just saying, I love how you remember every single bit.
Yeah, it was cool, you know, like
compared to the other one.
Yeah, it was just like a really like big thing. I'm like really passionate about my jiu-jitsu, and it was like really cool to like, I don't know, just to feel that. It was like I felt really good for my trainer too, because that first nationals, all of us kind of lost like in the first round, and it's just like a bit of a, you know, you don't really, it's a bad reflection for Jeremy. I kind of thought so. We had 5 national champions this year. A small gym in Whangamata. We were ranked top 16th, in the country.
Wow.
They were all big boys from Auckland, Wellington, and Christchurch, and then there was Whangamata sitting right there. 5 golds, 5 silvers, and 1 bronze. So, yeah,
Jeepers.
it's not bad.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome, bro. Wow.
yeah,
That's-
man.
And the thing with you guys being into the surfing and the jiu-jitsu, like all things that require that, you know, like that mindfulness, that attention to the moment, the focus and the peace of mind,
Yeah,
you know, and then you get into brewing beer and it's the same thing. Like you gotta pay so much attention to what you're doing. Like,
Totally.
can't fuck it up. You know?
Yeah.
The swell's gonna take you, man, or the motherfucker's gonna choke you, and then you're done. So it feels like things go all together.
yeah.
well, you know, like I just learned a lot about myself, man. Like, because I was just freaking out. Just don't freak out. Don't freak out on anything, you know. Like when something's going wrong in the brewery, just don't freak out. You know, like take a
Heaps has
breath
gone
Keep
wrong
your
as well,
mind,
eh?
yeah,
and
clear.
sort it out. You know, like when I was in that triangle shot, I could have freaked out.
Have a beer.
Have a beer, chill out. You know, like that was just like the bigger lesson that I got from it. And going into it, that first one, I made a bad mistake of putting headphones on, and all I was listening was gangster rap music, just very,
Aggressive.
very
almost.
intense, very full on. I'm gonna get it there and get it. And then this year, all I was listening to was like just real up house music, and you know, I just felt great. Like I just wasn't nervous at all, and yeah, it all worked out for me.
Is
you know.
Liam more likely to freak out in the brewery?
I don't know. You
Nah,
tell
man,
me,
I'm
Liam.
cool, bro. I'm cool, man.
I've only seen him read a couple times, and that's when we were
Yeah.
brewing this year. We used to get stuck mashes, which is when
Yeah.
you've got all your grain, it's steeping in the water, and you're trying to get it into your kettle to boil it. And we've had a few stuck ones when we were
Yeah.
starting out, and it was
And it was
just,
late, man. It was like
It was late.
It was like 11:30 or something. At
Yeah.
night. Yeah.
But no, he's pretty cool, old Lee Dog. Yeah, he's good.
Do
But
you
it's pretty cool. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
But it's
you
pretty
go, man.
cool how it's like, you know, like Kehan does all this amazing stuff, and then I've got my hobbies as well, and all of our friends are so diverse. And then I think without trying to plug it too much, like Salt District, is we want to bring people together.
Yeah.
You know, especially for Whangamata, it's such an amazing place, man. And like
Yeah.
the people that make up Whangamata, like they're so diverse. And you know, I met this guy the other day. They came to the cellar door. He used to be a broadcaster for like 40 years doing doing super yachting and motorbiking all around the world. And it was just like, man, it's so nice to try bring people together through something that you love. And yeah, it's pretty epic. It's cool.
Yeah.
Are you always out at the sea, man? Is that your thing as well? Like the fishing? the
Yeah, man.
surfing?
Nah, diving. Diving's my thing. Yeah, I do a little bit of mountain biking. I'm a bit of a kook on that. But yeah, surfing and diving. I've kind of gone to town this year and bought a bunch of custom boards from Mojo Handshapes. Who's my dog, Uncle Mark. He's amazing. And yeah, between surfing and diving, I'm always in the water. So if it's flat, I'm out under the water hunting for fish, and if it's up, I'm surfing.
Do you guys watch TV, follow the news, check the politics, or Whangamata lifestyle?
man. No time for that.
goes
I
time, eh?
have a little pulse on the politics a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the last couple of years were like a pretty insane time to be involved in politics. So, yeah, my mum's part American too. So, the politics over there is pretty rampant at the moment. It's probably the most.
Can you pour some for you and for me and for us?
Yeah,
as well,
have it,
bro?
have a Tuesday,
I'll
man.
leave it
Have a
for the bros,
Tuesday.
I'll leave it for the bros.
I have a little taste, please.
We got a new prime minister, bro.
The new
That-
Prime Minister,
Prime minister, is that what's happening today? Wasn't it today that the guy took over?
Christopher. Yeah, I think he's on. Yeah.
Oh, Luxon. I mean,
No,
him.
that's not right.
Have it,
I thought you said Christopher.
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh no, not
Well, did you say Christopher?
But it is Christopher as well, or no? The
I think it's
Yeah,
Christopher
yeah,
Luxon and Chris Hipkins.
Chris Hipkins.
Hipkins.
Yeah, hippie.
Pass.
Yeah.
Hippie.
Sound like you know him. You guys mates?
Yeah, school together, mate.
Oh, there you go.
What did you
Well,
guys think about
area school.
just in this time? I always ask this question, man. You guys told me that there's no problem to talk about anything, so here we go.
I mean, yeah, funny time for me. Oh gosh, this might get a bit full on, but personally, I didn't choose to get vaccinated. I just didn't feel like I need it. I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty fit person. I was training about 4 times a week. You know, I was 25 years old, and I just didn't think it was really for me. And it got a bit weird when all of a sudden I couldn't go to a restaurant, I couldn't go to a cafe, I couldn't, it just got very strange for me, and I didn't really see.
We're doing a lot of events then as well.
Yeah,
at the
there's
Port Road
events,
project. We were doing, beer events every 2 weeks.
Like Liam could be in there pouring beers, and then like I couldn't for what reason? The fact that I
But
didn't.
yet you guys were hanging out.
It's just strange, and like, it was
pretty
just
weird. It was tough because we just
Yeah.
started the brewery, and it was quite a weird, quite a weird time for us.
However,
yeah.
such a hard time to be in that position, having to
Yeah,
make
it
those
was-
calls
yeah,
as a
yeah.
leader and watching a lot of countries having different moments and different numbers of deaths and different numbers of things. And like that's always what I think. Like comparison is not a great thing, but like I come from a different country that we were counting deaths like this,
Yeah.
and we had a denier. We had a guy like, it's all good. And like families freaking out all over the place. And you're like, whoa. And then regardless of, like what people think it was right or wrong, like she seemed to, in my opinion, she seemed to care about people,
Yeah.
like because there was a
Definitely
talk
people's.
about economy all the time. And I'm like, are we really talking about economy in a world that there are billionaires?
Yeah,
and
true.
some people are trying to care about humans, and I get you, man, because like
Yeah.
it is frustrating when you feel good, because I'm the same, man. I was quite obese when I was young, and then I got into this vibe of like I gotta look after myself, and when I understood that you empower yourself when you look after yourself, I felt angry. I was like, fuck, I'm doing my best to be healthy, and
Yeah.
motherfuckers cannot even choose to eat something healthy, and then I have to put myself
Yeah.
in this. I don't want a shot of who knows what.
Yeah.
But like the collective is so important, so my heart was
Yeah.
very divided in the time. I'm
Yeah.
very glad you're opening up about that, because
Yeah.
it's not everyone who does.
No,
We're modern men, bro. We talk
It's
about
like,
feelings and things.
The
That's
thing
good.
like
It's good.
about
You gotta
economy
do it.
as well is that like there's a lot of small businesses that went under. I think small businesses probably hurt it the most. So through this thing of care, there's one thing to care about maybe if someone gets sick and die, but there's a lot of care that goes into, can I pay my bills? Can I get my kid to school? Can I put the shoes on my kid? There's a whole, like, it's very complex, and I wouldn't, man, I'm glad I wasn't there, but yeah, there's a lot to it, So for me, I got real rocky with her. It was a very like strange time for me. My partner, she's got this strange like anaphylactic reaction where it's a bit of a mystery. The doctors don't actually know what it is. I think it's like 4% of the population that gets it, like globally. And she had the pressure put on her because she was head chef of fuck. So the pressure came
in
on.
Wellington.
Like the pressure came on. It's like I need to get this to work, and I work because I care about these people I'm working for, and I don't want to put them through it. This is a very strange, awkward time.
Hospitality was definitely like
Hospitality was
Yeah.
gnarly, and here was we tried to get her an exemption, and it was essentially impossible. You had to prove that you could react on it. How can you prove that you can react on something? You can look at ingredients, or material in the actual vaccine itself, but it was basically impossible to put it that way. Yeah. So for me, it was a very strange time. It was a very personal time. I saw her very upset. Saw a lot of people very upset. My dad broke out in a full body rash. He's for months. He's never had it before, but all of a sudden, there's just a strange sort of thing going on with him.
It's all trial and error with those new vaccines, and I feel like it's just how. I mean, most generations have gone through a new vaccine, and this is ours, and there's a lot more social media and a lot easier to communicate with other people across the world instead of your neighbour. So I feel like the opinions are stronger. The sides or the whatever, they're stronger because there's more people to talk about it. And I feel like, it's just been quite
the
blown up.
mandating was tricky though, right?
It
Like,
was.
Oh man.
it would have been nice if all the information was out there, and then it's like
You can pick.
You can take your pick, and this is the date where things might change or something.
Yeah.
But that's
Like, what was
That's
it?
so-
Like
just a-
yellow.
same thing. There's no handbook.
Yellow
man.
was
It's so
shit.
hard.
Well,
it's so tough.
Part of Lena's family is from Sweden, and we'd communicate with them what's happening, and they just couldn't believe it because they kept like fairly sort of neutral.
Yeah.
And it was just it's very strange because I went back to Europe in 2022, so last year, and it's so strange that you can get on a plane and in about 24 hours later you're in a place that is just like vanished, like all those like rules and regulations that you knew, like my gosh, I better put this on, or people think like, well, they're going to look at me odd.
And last year as well.
It just doesn't exist over there, and it's just like 3 days later, when I came back to New Zealand, I had to put a mask on the whole time, and being on a plane like that, it's just not good. And 3 days later, all right, we're stopping it, and everyone just stops it, and it's just like, I just find it very strange. It's just like, yeah, I don't want to get into too much.
Did you enjoy Sweden? Because you spent some time there, right?
My gosh, Sweden's great,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that's why I wanted to go
Beautiful.
back. Yeah, it's a stunning place, man. Like, going to places in Scandinavia, any of those European cities, I can see why people actually live in a city. They're set up fantastically, man. The transport's great, bars are great, the restaurants are great, the cafes are great. Like, it's just pleasantly, aesthetically nice to be in.
What's the weather like?
Well, at the moment, it's not the best.
Cold?
Like, in Finland, I've got my stepbrother here at the moment now, Torde. It's about -8 in Portavo, about an hour and a half from Helsinki.
Okay.
Very cold. He's come here for a summer.
And people are still
Has it
drinking
turned up?
beer hard. It doesn't matter the weather, eh?
You gotta do something, man.
Love that.
Our
Love that.
summer,
They,
been a bit wet.
Yeah. It is up, but in summer, man, like, it's like 30, 32 degrees. It's
Is
quite
it
hot.
humid or is it just like, you know,
No,
dry?
it's dry heat.
That's
yeah,
cool.
it's real dry heat. And it's just light the whole time during summer. It's very weird. Like, you know, we get here, it's about 9:30 and the sun like just slightly dips below the horizon. Yeah, it'd be 3 in the morning there, and that's what's going to happen. Then it just starts coming back up. Like, it just does not get dark. And it's very strange
Wow.
for me, I'm not used to it. So I couldn't get my sleeping pattern correct. My body just wouldn't really want to shut off because the birds
It's not
chirp
dark.
the whole time. Like, life just goes on 24 hours a day.
That's crazy.
It is pretty weird. Yeah.
Is it the same when it's winter and then like it's almost
dark,
no?
man. It's dark. It's dark. Like, it's like for maybe like 3 or 4 hours, I reckon. And like, it's overcast. Yeah, they get like some beautiful, like, real snowy, like, picturesque days, but a lot of the time when we were leaving, it's when it was kicking on. It's just like grey, overcast, light drizzle, and it's dark.
New Zealand has a pretty good balance. They
Good
have
balance,
all
yeah.
seasons.
Yeah.
Rain, wind, snow, sunshine.
Great point before though, Ash. It's been a rubbish summer this
Yeah.
year. Pretty hard for
We were
people
pretty-
in the Coromandel, like
Pretty
business
overdue
owners,
though, I
yeah.
reckon. Like,
Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
it was like 4 years ago we had a pretty wet one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like whatever.
We've had about like 3 summers of drought, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's very strange to just drive. Like, driving here, everything's so green.
Yeah, I know.
Surf's been good though. So
Yeah, surf has been
It's all
good.
good.
Last week the moon was pretty close to the earth, so those tides and those currents were they're hitting the Coromandel pretty hard.
Yep.
Quite sad.
Yeah, with that cyclone, it was no
Yeah.
good. Unfortunate
Nah.
timing, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
And the sand at the bar's been really bad lately, so don't surf the Whangamata bar.
No.
Noted.
Sand's been rubbish.
Lots
yeah.
of sharks too.
Lots of sharks.
Oh, so many sharks.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm pretty sure in
Actually, all the
November-
beaches in Coromandel.
Yeah,
Lots of sharks.
November there was like I think a great white right in Crayfish Bay, so
Yeah.
he's coming in
Yeah,
real
I
close.
saw that video.
Have you
Yeah.
guys
close.
had some encounters? Have you
I think it
guys
was
had
Bruce.
some?
I have diving, yeah. Lots with bronzies. They're pretty cruisy, but they always give you a bit of a fright.
I remember you telling me a
fair.
story back at like I don't know 2017. You went diving and there was a shark.
Yeah.
And I remember
Oh,
that
with my
story quite
sister?
vividly. Yeah, and
Yeah,
how you had to
yeah.
push Ella out of the water.
That was actually a Marco shark.
Marco.
Yeah, that was gnarly.
Yeah, that was only around the corner, wasn't it? Or was that
That
up?
was at Animana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can they pick up that you're freaking out, bro? The shark?
I'm sure they can, man.
I'm sure they can.
Yeah.
Vibrations.
Yeah, I boosted it and just left my sister out in the water.
She had no
Kidding.
idea. No, but she had no idea, right?
She actually never saw it. It was quite funny.
Yeah, you just got her out of the water
I
without
freaked
telling her.
out. Yeah.
That was a
yeah.
good
It
story.
was pretty novice in my diving sort of
Yeah.
career, I guess you'd call it. But
Yeah.
yeah. Super funny.
So your mom is American.
She is American. Yeah.
What part of America?
She mainly California and around that Orange County, Santa Barbara sort of area.
Nice.
Yeah. So I used to go
Nice.
back quite regularly, like maybe every 2 years.
Do you guys feel welcomed there? The time that you spent, and when you go back, do you guys feel like people
Loved it, man.
appreciate?
Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah, well, the last time I was there, I was about 17, so it has been a while. But I mean, like, I'm always with the family, like my part of my family I don't get to see very much, so it's always very, very nice. Yeah, very sort of wholesome. So I'd love to get back there. Actually, it's been too long, but yeah.
Yeah, you always hear that Kiwis are very welcomed all over the world.
Yeah, man.
It's a
Yeah.
great thing to go and use that passport, say, and do the best.
Yeah.
Just the
Make the best
accents.
Pretty
the
lucky as
passport,
well.
eh?
Yeah. I went back
Golden
every year
ticket.
for 4 or 5 years. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we did, I don't know, 40 odd states or something. And yeah, super fun.
What are your favorite spots, bro, in America? Where to go with Liam?
Traveling with Liam.
Oh.
Traveling with Liam.
I'm pretty cringe, but like Northwest, like Seattle area, Washington area.
Oof,
That's where all the hops are grown, so all the beers are back, but there's great surf as well, so it's amazing. But then where my camp was in northeast corner, so Maine, I spent a lot of time up in Nova Scotia as well, and around there, Portland, Maine. Pretty incredible. It's the start of the Appalachian Trail, which is the big hiking trail down the east coast. Amazing. In summer, it's amazing. And then in winter, it's completely like you can drive over the lakes where our camp was in a truck or something.
And that was Camp America, eh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you did that for a few years?
Yeah, 4 years.
Wow.
4 years, yeah.
Wow.
Any funny stories with Americans, man? Any encounters? Any
Oh, not that I can share on here, man.
Oh,
I mean, there's a couple of rippers. But
That's so good.
yeah. To keep it PG.
After Hours podcast, maybe.
Oh, the midnight show.
Yeah.
No,
But it was amazing
awesome.
because I would be over there in summer and then do a trip anywhere in the world for 3 months and then come back to Coromandel and have 3 or 4 months summer in New Zealand, which is epic. And then, cruise over again. And that's actually how I met Ash back in the day. She worked with my family in the family bizzo. So,
It was
What
cool.
was the business, Ash?
Whangamata food market.
Hey.
They did really well with that. They picked it up and made it real sick. Yeah, I loved working for Norma Maria.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It's mainly fruit and veggies, but don't ever work for your parents, so.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's different stories, I guess.
Nah, heaps of fun. It was cool.
Did you learn a lot about picking the right veggies, the right fruits, and to grow as well, or no? Was mainly
A bit of both. Yeah. Probably just learnt more about business as well, I think. Yeah.
Norm would drive 3 o'clock in the morning to the
Yeah, we'd
port.
go down Tauranga. Yeah, to
get
the
the
markets.
fresh veg, and it's
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And he'd be catering to everyone in the community. If they wanted something specially, he'd go get it,
Yeah.
Next
that was
day.
cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked after everyone. It was cool.
Yeah.
I loved working there. It was
Yeah.
cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Family business, always
Yeah.
a good vibe.
Big Norm.
He's going to be our keg delivery boy pretty soon, I reckon. Yeah.
He's looking forward to it.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah.
Nice, boys. Give us some information on how to get some beer from you, where to go, follow
Yeah,
like
man.
the socials. Can you take us through?
Yeah, well, with the Cellar Door, man, we're going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, and we'll go from about 3 to 7. We're just working on our days, but you can come there, you can get fresh beer, brewed locally. Beautiful thing. Yeah, we can get merch there. We got some shirts, we got some
Yeah, got the
glasses, man.
glasses,
We do
yeah.
the flagons, we do it all. So yeah, come down, check us out.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Man.
And our beers at Craft House and Port Road Project.
So for the people
The
stopping at
restaurants.
Whangamata for the long weekends, they know where to go, eh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, 101B Winifred Ave, right around the back next to Whanga Bar.
No.
You'll see us there. We'll have some signs out.
Winifred Ave.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And even just popping for a chat, man. We're, that's what it's all about. It's just connecting people and community, and you don't. If you don't drink, that's fine. It's all good.
Come to hang, bring
come hang
some-
out, man.
show,
bring
yeah.
your cousin who
Bit more of
drinks
this. Yeah.
Buy some
I'll buy
presents,
for
eh?
someone.
Buy
Yeah,
some
it's
presents.
great presents. Yeah.
Nice. Is this something that you guys thought? This size? Do you guys also?
Yeah, so that's our
Yeah.
that's our 2 litre one. We also have a 1 litre. Yeah, we would have brought more, but yeah, like we sold out. We actually had, we had a really really cool opening, man. It was nice to see so much support and so much love for it. It was sick.
Man, congratulations for it. It's a big thing
Thanks, bro.
to bring people who are putting the work,
yeah.
and I agree 100% with what you guys said. Getting together, collaborating, supporting each other. That's how we feel like about having a media,
Yeah.
an independent media company, because like the big sharks will swallow you if you're not careful, But like when you put people together, man, it's hard to beat people, Like you gotta do things together. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. for coming,
ALTBAYS, Salt District.
Yeah, man.
Together.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so
Salt
much.
Bays.
Salt Bays. There you go. Let's put
Stop
the
it.
party there,
Businessman
man.
over here.
Yeah, market share, babe.
Nice. So follow the boys on social media. Salt District. Is it Salt District
Brewery.
Brewery? Oh,
Yeah.
the the Instagram thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Salt District dot.
Bit of check
Oh.
actually while we're doing
Pass.
this.
I don't know.
There's all
man.
those little,
There you go.
all those little hyphens.
They got
That's
the team. They got the
tough,
team.
I don't
Salt
blame you.
District.
No,
We'll
I
tag
don't
the
blame
boys
you.
there. It's not hard to find for sure.
Salt District _brewing. Catch us there.
Brewing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Hey,
Thanks,
you guys.
guys.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
It was great.
Thank you. We're gonna have some more beer. Ash,
Yep.
I think you hired.
Oh, stuff it. Nah, I just thought, it'd be good chat. I know Liam, so it'd be get on here and drink some beer and have a nice night.
Some blue ginger.
Some blue ginger.
Yeah, thanks for the
Can't
feed.
get
It was
wrong.
amazing.
Still a great radio voice, I reckon. Eh?
Can't go wrong.
There you go. Awesome.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kehan.
Thanks, Pop Up. And I'll see you guys on Friday with another cool show. Mr. Mauricio Kimura, he's doing his research, his PhD research on AI having feelings.
Holy.
Wow.
Dun, dun,
Sick.
dun.
Ooh, we go from dead people on Monday to happy days with these guys on Wednesday to AI on Friday. That's
I
all base.
Roller coaster,
Full
man.
circle.
Full circle.
Catering.
That's the one. I'll see you guys on
Sick.
Friday. Peace.
Ooh.